Hello students. In previous session we had a discussion about how to show the use of classes and objects in our program. Okay. So as we all know that class is a collection of objects that have identical properties and a common behavior along with shared relationship. Okay. So now we'll see how to define and declare the classes. Already we know that class consists of data members and member function. Okay. So you can use any number of data members and member function in your program, and then here is the syntax. First you have to use the class keyword along with the class name, then its access specifier. It can be either private, public and protected according to the user requirement, and then you have to specify the data members and member function of that access specifier associated with that data members and member function. Okay, and so now we'll see what is access specifier. So access specifier mainly used to protection of the data or hiding of the data, that provides some security for our data. It can consist of data members and member function. Okay, so it's going to hide the data and function members which is internal to the class. So access specifier use ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ then it's going to protect the data. So ನಮ್ಮ data members ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, member function ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ protect ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so by default access specifier of the C++ program is private. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು data members ಯಾವುದು access specifier specify ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ then that will be private in nature. Okay, so what is private data members or private access specifier? Is going to give a permission to a member data can only be accessed by the class member function. For example, in this we have account number, name, account type and balance amount as a data members. So these data members can be accessed only by the member function of that class. Okay, get data ಮತ್ತೆ display data ಈ ಎರಡು member function. So these four are the data members. So these four data members can be accessed only through this member function of that particular class. That is regarding private. So private data access specifier use ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತ್ರ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ನ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ the objects of the class can access the private members only through the public member function. So you can see here. So these are the private access specifier. Okay, so here we have used private access specifier and it has four data members. So these four data members can be accessed only through the public member function of that particular class. Okay, so this kind of property is known as what? Information hiding. Fine. So by default data members is in a class is private. If you are not specified any access specifier over your program, then that will be private itself. Okay, then what is protected? The members which are declared using the protected can be accessed only by the member function, friend of the class, and also the member function derived from this class. For example, class A ಮತ್ತೆ class B ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ನೆನ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಸೊ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಥರ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ನ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎ ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎ ಇದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಬೈ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿ ಇಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ it is derived from that class. Okay, then protected access specifier is similar to private itself. Okay, so but it cannot be accessed from outside the class. It can be accessed only it is derived from this class. Okay, inheritance concept use ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ protected data members na access ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. It's same like private itself. Then what is public? So this means you can access any function even inside or outside the class. Okay, there is no restriction over the data. You can access the data members and member function of the public data. Okay, there is no restriction for the data by making use of public. So it acts like a interface for accessing the private and protected members of the class. Okay, so now we'll see what is member function and how it can be used. So now we'll see what is member function and how it can be defined in two places. Okay. So as we all know that member function is nothing but it's a function that is declared or included within a class. Okay. So member function is also known as methods. Function is also known as methods, and member function can be defined in two places. Either it can be inside the class definition or outside the class definition. So inside the class definition, if member function is used outside the class definition, then that will be considered as outside class definition. Okay, so now we'll see, and this is very important question for 5 marks, and now we'll see how to use inside class definition. Okay, so to define the member function inside a class, the function declaration within the class is replaced by the actual function definition inside the class. It is nothing but same like previous example. Okay, that means we have to declare this member function inside the class. So you can see here class is, so you can see the class definition. Okay, when the member function which is present inside the class definition, then that will be considered as what? Inside class definition. Okay, the function defined in a class is treated as a inline function. If a function is defined within a class, then that will be considered as what? Inline function, and some only small functions are defined inside the class definition. So you can see that. So get the data the line ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, we have only two lines of code. Then for this kind of data, inside the class definition is worth. Okay, if the data or function having more amount of data, then we have to use the outside class definition type. Okay, so ಯಾವಾಗ member function ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಡೇಟಾನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿರುತ್ತೆ, at that time only we have to go with inside class definition. So if there is bulk amount of functions or bulk amount of data needs to be displayed, then we have to define the function outside the class definition. Okay, so in order to define the member function outside the class definition, then we have to use the general structure. Okay, so first we have to take the return type, then class name, and this is nothing but scope resolution operator. So it is used to define the member function outside the class. So ಯಾವಾಗ data member function ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, we have to use the scope resolution operator. It's going to extend its scope. Okay, so first what we have to take, we have to take the return type. So return type is nothing but its data type, whether it can be either int, float, anything, and we have to specify the class name, then scope resolution operator along with the member function name. Okay, so we have to specify its function name. So you can give any name to the member function, and then we have to send arguments, that is parameter is going to tell what operation it has to perform, and it contains the function body. Okay, and then so here is a example problem for the definition of the class, definition of the member function outside the class. Okay, so now we'll see a program. So if it is inside the class in the sense, then no need to use any scope resolution operator. If we are defining the member function outside the class definition, then we have to use the scope resolution operator. Okay, so you can take previous sum of a and b program as a inside the class definition program. Okay, so now we'll see an example for outside class definition. I have to include its header files. Then class. So I'm going to take this as outside. So you can give any name to the class. Okay. Now I have to use private and public. So take this as outside sum. So in previous session we had a discussion about uses of classes and objects, right? So our program ne ನೀವು inside class definition ಗೆ example ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು because member function ಎಲ್ಲ class definition ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Okay, so in this I need to have two variables a, b and another one is sum. Okay, so here I have declared three variables a, b and sum, and I'm going to declare the member function public int public void read. Here I am not defining the member function, I am just declaring. Okay, so data type ಏನಿದೆ void, then member function name is read along with a semicolon, so that terminates the declaration. Then void sum. So I have another member function called sum and void display. Fine. So this indicates the closing of class and then definition of the class. So ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ class ನ outside sum ಅಂತ ಒಂದು class name ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Then data members ಯಾವುದು a, b and sum. Okay, so data members are a, b and sum. Then member functions are read, sum and display. Okay, member function, I'm just declaring the member function here, member function declaration, right? Then now I have to define the member function outside the class. So again ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, what was the syntax? First we have to use the return type. Okay, so in this return type is void, and I have to specify the class name. What is the class name here? Outside sum. Okay, class name is outside sum. Then I have to use the scope resolution operator. Scope resolution operator is used to define the member function outside the class. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ read, sum ಮತ್ತೆ display class ಇಂದ ಆಚೆ ನಾವು define ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ I have to use the member function called symbol called data scope resolution operator, so that I can use the member function outside the class. Then I have to mention the member function name. If there are any arguments, I have to specify within this parenthesis. Okay, so read. So in this I have to take the value of a and b. So enter the value of a and b. Okay, C in a, b. This indicates the closing of this read member function outside the class definition. Then I have to take the another member function called sum. So I have to specify the class name here, outside sum, then scope resolution operator, then sum. So sum ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, sum ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, I have to add a and b, right? Then this indicates the closing of this sum. Again I have to take another member function called display. So display is the another member function. So display ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, sum of a and b ನ display ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, sum of a and b. So where it is stored? It's stored in sum. Okay, sum. This defines the closing of that member function called display. Now I have to use main function, int main. Then I have to create an object for outside some class. Outside some, I'm going to use o1 as a class object name. o1 dot read, o1 dot read function, and o1 dot sum function, then o1 dot display function. Okay, then return 0 or 1. Get ch. I'm going to take clear screen here. Closing of main function. Okay, now we'll execute. Multiple declaration of sum. Okay, so here data members and member function name is same. I cannot use that keyword. Sorry, I cannot use that variable name. So I have to take another name for this member function. So I'm going to take this someone. Now it's not going to display any errors. So variable name is sum and function name is sum1. Okay, fine. So before return I have to use that. Okay, then control F9. Enter the value of A and B, 10 and 30. Sum of A and B will be 40. Okay, na? So you are going to get the same output. Even we have defined the class, define a member function inside the class too. Okay, so first ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ I have to define the data members and I just need to declare the member function. Read sum ಮತ್ತೆ sum1 and display are the member function of the class called outside sum. Okay, so ಯಾವಾಗ member function ನ class ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, then I have to follow this syntax. So it contains what? Return type and then class name along with scope resolution operator. Then I have to mention the member function name. If there any parameters or argument, I have to specify within this parenthesis. Then this is body of function. Okay, so here is a body of function definition. Body of function. Okay, so here we have three functions: read, sum1 and display. Okay, don't take variable name and member function name as a same name. It must be unique, otherwise it's not going to display any errors. Okay, so this is a program regarding how to define the member function outside the class definition. Okay.